On a warm summer night in 2012, a 16-year-old girl slipped quietly out of her bedroom window. She was heading to meet her two best friends, girls she had known for years and trusted with her life. But by the next morning, she never came home. It would take 6 months, a shocking confession, and one of the most chilling betrayals imaginable before the truth was revealed. This is the heartbreaking story of the murder of Skylar Neese. Skylar Annette Neese was born in Morgantown, West Virginia, in 1996. She was a bright, bubbly teenager, an only child, who was close with her parents, Dave and Mary Neese. She excelled in school, was an honor student, and even worked a part-time job at a local fast food restaurant. Skylar was witty, kind, and well-loved by friends and family. Her closest friends were Sheila Eddy and Rachel Schoaf. The three were inseparable. They hung out constantly, shared secrets, and often posted about their friendship online. But as 2012 went on, cracks began to form. Sheila was outgoing, bold, and sometimes manipulative. Rachel was quieter, more religious, and often caught in the middle. Skylar, though still close to them, started to feel excluded. There were frequent arguments, and Skylar even hinted online that she knew secrets about her friends. Behind the scenes, Sheila and Rachel had grown tired of her. They wanted her gone, completely. On the night of July 5, 2012, Skylar came home from working her shift at Wendy's. She kissed her parents goodnight and went to bed. But just after midnight, she quietly slid her bedroom window open, pushed a bench under it, and climbed out. Surveillance footage from her apartment complex showed Skylar getting into a car at 12:30 a.m. The car belonged to her friends, Sheila and Rachel. The girls drove across the state line into Pennsylvania to a secluded wooded area where they often hung out. Skylar had no idea that in the back seat of the car were kitchen knives, paper towels, and bleach. When they arrived, the three girls got out and walked into the woods. At some point, Sheila and Rachel counted to 3, and both pulled out their knives. Skylar was stabbed more than 50 times. Her final word, according to Rachel's later confession, was a single question: why? When the attack was over, the girls tried to bury her, but the ground was too hard. Instead, they dragged her body under branches and rocks, leaving her in the woods. Then they returned home, pretending nothing had happened. The next morning, Skylar's father went to wake her and discovered her bed was empty. The bench under the window told him she had snuck out. At first, police thought she was a runaway, but her parents insisted that wasn't true. Skylar had left her phone charger, her contacts, even her toothbrush. She had planned to come back. The case gained attention quickly. Flyers went up, searches were organized, and Skylar's friends Sheila and Rachel even helped spread the word. On Twitter, Sheila tweeted, "Skylar, please come home. I miss you." But behind closed doors, investigators grew suspicious. Surveillance footage showed Skylar willingly getting into a car that night, and that car was traced back to Sheila Eddy. For months, police pushed the two girls. But it wasn't until December 2012 that the case broke wide open. Rachel Schoaf had a mental breakdown. She confessed to her lawyer, then to police, that she and Sheila had killed Skylar because, in her words, we just didn't like her anymore. In January 2013, Rachel led authorities to the woods near the Pennsylvania border. There, under a pile of branches, police finally found Skylar's remains. The confessions were shocking. Sheila Eddy continued to deny involvement until overwhelming evidence forced her to plead guilty. In May 2013, Rachel Schoaf pleaded guilty to second-degree murder. She was sentenced to 30 years in prison with the possibility of parole after 10. In January 2014, Sheila Eddy pleaded guilty to first-degree murder. She was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 15 years. The once inseparable trio of friends ended up in prison, leaving behind devastation for Skylar's family. Skylar's parents never fully recovered from losing their only child. But they did fight for change. They pushed for Skylar's Law, which was signed in West Virginia in 2013. It requires law enforcement to issue immediate Amber Alerts for all missing children, even if they are initially believed to be runaways. The case shocked the nation, not just because of the brutal murder, but because of the motive. There was no money, no revenge, no secret scandal. When asked why they killed their friend, Rachel and Sheila gave the coldest possible answer. We just didn't like her anymore. Skylar Neese thought she was meeting her best friends. Instead, she walked into an ambush. Her story is a reminder that betrayal can come from the people we trust the most. And sometimes, the darkest dangers hide behind the brightest smiles.